Got the little spinny circle thing, and it says live. So we are live here with another Tuesday event of Money Moves. So welcome back, Wendy. How are you doing today?
Doing great.
Awesome.
Ready to go.
Awesome.
Excited about
I know, right? I'm excited about our topic. We got a couple good things in queue for the next few weeks. So I'm excited about that. So we can get some good feedback from our viewers like you. And so if you're watching us live, fantastic. Glad you're here. Give us a little thumbs up down below. And if you're catching us on the replay on one of our net channels, whether it's LinkedIn, YouTube, whatever the case may be, actually I had a viewer from LinkedIn reach out, wanted to watch a back episode. All of our back episodes are available at blackswanmoney.com. That will actually take you to our YouTube platform. Everything is there. We've got, what is it? I think this is episode 106. So yeah, a lot of good information. So we're going to get started here. If you are past the age of 40, and haven't really got started or gotten serious about your retirement planning, it's not too late. And we're going to talk about that. 3 things that you can be doing right now or need to do, if you want to be honest about it, post age 40 to get started. So we'll start talking about that in just a few seconds. And we're back. We're live. Wendy, I know you're not 40 yet, right? So, looking at that, I just turned 40 last week. But a lot of people we talk to, in the financial planning world are getting late starts, right? They focus on the wrong things out of the gate, focus on, maybe not the wrong things. They're not making enough money. So, but the reality of it is you can build wealth pretty much at any age. If you're not building wealth, it's because you're choosing not to build wealth. And I don't care what your income level is. You may disagree with that, and that's fine. But sit down with me or Wendy or both of us, and we'll show you exactly what we mean by that. There are 3 things that a lot of people think, man, I'm starting after 40. It's too late. I'm never going to be able to retire. And we've had those conversations with people. Reality of it is you can retire tomorrow. You may be living in a tent on a state park somewhere. It may not be the retirement you want, but you can retire tomorrow. Now, obviously, I'm kidding a little bit there, but the reality is you can actually have a retirement, post age 40 and get started and still, feel good about it. I don't know if you feel that way, Wendy, or if you felt that way or know people or whatever, but
yeah, I think I was 41 when I wasn't quite 41 when I sat down with you to do my financial plan. And my only plan for retirement was I'm going to keep working network marketing. It's going to pay me forever. And so, so I thought as far as building any kind of wealth outside of that, I thought it was too late. I thought I'd missed the boat. So, but turns out not exactly, right? So maybe have to shift things around a little bit, but you can still get there.
Yeah, exactly. And that's one of the things, and we work with network marketers, we work with business owners and, people that own small businesses. And that's one of the things, and I see that challenge with those groups, but it's also the same challenge. It's a different little format in regards to people that have a job, a job, right? They think that job, that one income is going to get them to where they need to be. But they also think that my 401k is going to get me there, or the business is going to pay me, right? But what's going on there is you're really putting all your eggs in one basket. You're banking everything on that. And if that falls through, and I know that's happened with people's 401ks. The market didn't do good last year, folks. And that's going to happen several times. And that's a whole other conversation. But even in the network marketing world, they could change the comp plan or the company could go out of business. And I have personal friends that their comp plans literally changed overnight. And they went from making multiple 6 figures to making bupkis annually. And so all of a sudden that's like extreme shock. But even on the small business owners, the plan is I'm going to grow this business and I'm going to sell this business down the road. And that more than likely won't work out the way you think it, because number one, typically you're overvaluing the business on what it's worth. Number 2, your business may be out of business. Most businesses fail, and a lot of businesses that were in existence 20 years ago are no longer around today because of, technology advances, or just nobody needs it anymore. Right. So you want to kind of spread the love, so to speak, when looking at different strategies. But before you do anything, number one, you've got to recognize that after age 40, you've still got some working years in front of you. Okay. You're still making an income. And that's really when you really hit your peak earning years, from age 40 to 60, right? Those are your peak earning years. And so, yeah, I know, right? So you're just getting started on those peak earning years, but the key is to take advantage of it. But rather than just throw money out there, and we've said this before, the first thing you need to do is what?
Create a plan.
Yeah, get a plan, right? So, you're looking at, where are you trying to go? Where are you at today? Where are you trying to get to? And what things do you need to do? And most people, that at least that I've spoken to, have no idea where they want to go. I mean, they kind of have a vision of what retirement and, when it may be. And we talk to younger people, I want to retire at, 55 or whatever. And, I don't know that that's going to work out either, but I'd love to hear your thoughts on that planning process post age 40,
Yeah, I found that people know where they want to end up, but they have no idea how they're going to get there. And I think they just think it's going to accidentally happen. And
yeah.
And so, yeah, because when we sit down with people and they're like, yeah, I want to retire in 15 years and I want to make $10,000 a month. And you're like, okay. But when you had that, I know for me, it was the financial plan was the most empowering thing that I did, is sit down and go, okay, here's where I am. Here's where I want to be. These are the steps to get there. And one thing that you did with me and that we do now, with clients is, like you say, not running a marathon right out of the gate, right? Even though once you're past 40, we got a lot less time, but it's, stepping into that plan slowly and understanding, what it's going to take. And, to me, that was the most empowering piece to go, okay, now I know what I have to accomplish. So it made me look at money differently, right? What I do today differently.
Yeah. And that's the key, right? That planning piece. And what you need to understand is exactly what you said. Where are you trying to go and by when? And so what I like to use visuals, right? So when I sit down with clients, I talk about building their money machine, right? Think of it like a big ATM for Wendy. And in the back of that ATM, there are 3 levers. And on the front, there's a little, where the money comes out, and you hit the on button one day and all of a sudden it starts spitting out money every month. Well, the question is, how much money do you need? And there's all these different factors you've got to take into consideration. That's why you want to partner with a financial professional. If you don't have one, we would love to be your financial person. But if you do, work with them. But they need to come up with a holistic plan, not just let's put all the money in the market and hope it works out. That is, there's a whole other episode on that, folks. But in this machine, you've got 3 levers. Number one is, how much money do you want to have coming out of it every month when you turn it on? Yeah. Some people only want, $3,000 or $4,000. Some people I talk to want, $10,000, $20,000 coming out every month. And whatever you want, that's fine. That's just one of the levers. The second lever is, how much time do you have? Are you starting at age 25, 30, 40, 45? So, it's like a garden, right? When you go to plant a garden, you want to do it in, call it April, depending on where you're at. That's going to give you a nice crop by the end of, early August, right? And so that way, that's how your garden works. Well, if you don't plant that garden until late June, early July, you got a lot less growing time. So your plants are going to be smaller, less, so money's the same way. Yeah. Okay. Money's the same way. So the next one is, how long do I have before I want to turn that machine on? And then the final equation is, how much money can I put in each month? My seed in my garden, how much seed can I put in the garden to make sure I have a big garden down the road? And you line those levers up. If they line up, great. If not, which is most cases, you have to adjust the levers, maybe work a little longer, maybe lower your expectations on what it's going to spit out every month, or increase the amount. And that really kind of leads into the second key item, which is, getting your spending under control, right? Getting your spending under control. And that should be part of your plan. If you're working with a planner that's not talking about, I don't like to say the word budget because it sounds so like, but I like to call it a spending plan.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're going to look at
your cash flow. Yeah.
Yeah. You got to look at that cash flow, and you've got to ask yourself with each purchase, especially larger purchases, but the small ones add up too. is this purchase moving me closer to or further away from my financial goals?
Mhm.
Is this moving me closer to or further away from my financial goals? And after age 40, you may think you have a lot of time, but not really. Okay. And even if you're planning to work to age, the retirement age of 67, or maybe stretch it out a few more years, 70, get that bonus on your Social Security. You've got to take all that into consideration. But the spending plan and getting that under control is a cornerstone. It's huge, right?
Yeah. Yeah. And again, it kind of, goes off that financial plan, because if you don't have the plan, you don't know what it takes to get there. It's
Mhm.
easy to just spend money without thinking. It's easy to go, oh, it's in the bank, let's spend
Yep.
it, right? And so we talk a lot about pay yourself first, right? So once you have that plan, you pay yourself first, you got to figure the rest out. Like, what do you need to put away to get where you want to be? And the rest of it, you got to figure out how to live off of it, right?
Yeah,
So,
exactly.
I mean, I've been in the process of that myself too. It's not an overnight thing.
No.
I had my financial plan put together 2 years ago, but I'm still going, okay, where can I cut? Where can I cut? And the more you learn about how money can grow
Mhm.
and what that means long term, and the older you get, the faster time goes.
It does. My grandmother told me that. I'm like, oh, whatever, crazy lady.
So
It does.
those
It's amazing.
priorities shift. And so
Yeah.
it's got to decrease that spending to, on the frivolous stuff that who really cares about. It doesn't make a difference long term.
Yeah. Build memories, not stuff. So there you go. But looking at that spending plan, I mean, and again, it's not something to constrict you. I mean, to some degree, maybe it is if you're an overspender or you shop too much or whatever. But really looking at being intentional with every dollar that you have. And so much of it, I use the analogy sometimes of, people pouring their money into a bucket like water, right? And they're like, why isn't my money growing? And you've got all these little holes in the bottom of the bucket you're not even aware of. And that's where your money's going. So once you get control of that and understand where every dollar is going, it's amazing how much empowerment that is for you to control your future and really say, no, I'd really rather make sure, because here's the deal, folks. Is it a little painful to tell yourself no, or to tell a family no, we're going to, do this, that, or the other? Yes. But having the ability, or the not having the ability, to retire down the road and actually have a comfortable, where you can do the things you want, that's pretty painful too. So you can either have a little pain now or a lot of pain later. So you've got to pick your pain on what you want to do. And that spending plan can really help you get under control. Like I said, it doesn't have to be you doing without everything. And okay, we're just going to watch DVDs and no streaming, no, never going out. That's not what I'm talking about. That's a budget, right? A spending plan is you being intentional and having, some ability to be in control. And like she said, pay yourself first, which really means you get the first fruits to save towards your future, right? Pay your future self.
Yeah.
So number 3 is, really looking at, I'm post 40, I got to get on it, right? I got to catch up. And so really looking at maximizing your contributions. And I'm not talking about putting the max in a 401k. No, not at all, right? I'm talking about putting the max in, your 401k up to the match, because that's free money. I love that, right? I'm all about free money. And you should be too. But that dollar after that, there's so much better stuff out there. And you've also got to look at what's going to give me growth, but what's also going to give me tax advantages down the road. Okay. Yeah. So many Americans out there do what? Pre-tax.
Pre-tax dollars. Yeah.
Yeah. Pre-tax dollars. And I'm saving money on taxes today. Well, let's think about that. Are you really saving? Do you think taxes are going to go down from where they are today, or go up when you hit your retirement years? Well, more than likely they're going to go up. I don't have a crystal ball, but my guess is they're going to go up, right? We're 22 trillion and counting on our debt. They're talking about replacing the dollar and the collapse of the dollar and all this other stuff, which,
taxes are really low right now, aren't they?
Taxes are extremely low historically. You look at, go Google that U.S. taxes historical chart, and you'll see how low they actually are today. So I've got a job, I'm making money, and taxes are on sale. Let me get them out of the way today, right? Mm-hmm. So you look for post-tax activities, right? Like the Roth, things like that. And there's a bunch of stuff out there like that, but Roth has limits on what you can put in. The next thing is, and a lot of people are unaware of this, it's called protected asset classes, right? This is where you can actually get returns with no loss, because you've got to worry about that too. You're going into the red zone of retirement, meaning the last, 10, 20 years of retirement. You need to really focus on not losing money. Mm-hmm. And I want To protect myself from taxes. So that's protected asset class. If you have a question on that, we'll do a show on that sometime too, but it's amazing. But again, you want to maximize that money you're putting away. And this is why that spending plan is step 2. It's so critical that you find every dollar and then start putting it away, right? Mm-hmm. Start putting it away. Because eventually, here's the thing. It's your money in the end, right? It's all your money. So you're just opting not to spend everything today. Like I said, the seeds, right, for your garden. Most people eat all their seeds today, so they have nothing left down the road. Mm-hmm. And that's when it gets scary.
Wisdom. We're called to be wise with our finances, and it's wisdom to put some away to grow for the future. Yeah. And there's a lot of people that don't have that wisdom these days. I mean, I'm far from perfect on that, but definitely been a 2-year learning curve and figuring that out. But
well, and that's the thing. I mean, so today's message was really, if you're post 40 and haven't gotten started, it's not too late. Okay. If you need help, reach out. We'll show you what you can do, right, on your budget. And then we'll stair step, just like, you gave the marathon example. If you want to run a marathon this year, well, you're not going to go out and run 26 miles today, unless, you're already a runner. Me, my heart would explode probably in mile 2. So it's one of those things. What do? Well, you start walking and running, and then start running a little bit, and then start running a little bit more. It's the same way with finances, right? You start on your budget you have today to get your financial house in order, which is why you need a financial plan that talks about us. So that was step 1, create that financial plan. Step 2 is maximize and be intentional about your money. Be intentional with every dollar and empower yourself to know where all your money's at all times. And that's going to be through the spending plan. That was number 2. And then number 3 is what? Start stacking cash. Start stacking cash and be smart about where you put it. Don't just put it in a bank. Don't get me wrong. You need some emergency fund in there, but you want to make sure your money is actually growing, outpacing inflation, minimizing or even eliminating taxes in your retirement years. And yes, folks, that's possible. A bunch of books have been written on that. We teach that to our clients. So it's all possible even after age 40. So don't beat yourself up if you're getting a late start. A lot of people do it, but take action and get started. Anything else to add on that, Wendy?
Nope. So let's go.
All right. So go get it, folks. If you need help, reach out to us. You can reach out to Wendy Lee online or me at johncleaver.com. Set up a 15-minute phone call, and we'll do everything we can to help you out. If not, talk to somebody. Don't try to do it on your own, and don't try to figure it out on the internet. So there's too much noise out there. So everybody have a great day. Thanks for watching. Do us a favor, show some love. Click that little subscribe button down below. And if you want to see some back episodes, like I said, we've got over 100 now. I can't believe it. Make sure you go and click that little subscribe button there on YouTube and click that little bell, and you'll get alerted every time we put out a new video. And again, it's at blackswanmoney.com. Thanks, everybody.